If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of If You Can Read, You Can Cook. My name is Lewis Morgan, and the Negron is for my last name spelled backwards if you read from right to left. So thank you guys for tuning in today. Today is Father's Day, so just wanted to say thank you to all of the fathers out there, but especially my son and my son-in-law. So both very great fathers. They do a wonderful job. I just want them to know that I respect what they do, and they just day in and day out they are grinding when it comes to being a father. So just truly proud of them, and just telling them guys to keep doing what they're doing. Sometimes we fall short as fathers, and I myself can attest to that. There's some things that I wish I could have done differently. But hopefully my teaching and some of the things stuck with them, but they are both truly great fathers. My son Lewis and my son-in-law, they call him John, but I tried to call him John, and he told me to call him 2Js. I don't know. I guess everybody wants a nickname these days. But happy Father's Day to you guys. All right, so let's get started. I'm just going to wash my hands. And today we are going to prepare a vegetarian lasagna. So you can make it any kind of way that you want. You can make it with, I'm going to make it with a meat substitute. Yeah, I'm going to make it with a meat substitute. So you can make it with any ground meat that you want. Turkey, beef, chicken, anything. It'll all kind of turn out the same. It will turn out the same. I've made it before with like tofu grounds. I've made it with a walnut and mushroom kind of blend, and blended it up until it was kind of a beef consistency. So I think anything that you put in it, it's a really simple meal, and it's quick. We'll put it together and we'll be eating. I also have asparagus along with it, and probably may also put together a cucumber, tomato, parsley salad that I think goes really well with it. So I will put the description in the link below. It's something that I make all of the time. There was a time where I wanted some lasagna, and I didn't want to go through the whole process of making the lasagna the normal way, where they boil the lasagna strips and all of that back in the day, before they told people that we could put them in the actual mix and they would cook, because it only took 15 or 20 minutes, but you're going to have them in the oven for about 25 or 30 minutes. So now they're making them with no boiling required. So same goes for how I'm going to put them together. It's going to be, actually, what makes it really easy is I have some ricotta cheese squares that I am going to use. So that will kind of cut down on the time, and I'm going to make it for I think it's a 6x6 pan or 5x7 pan. I can't remember the actual size, but the ingredients below will be for your 9x11 pan. So I'm just cutting it in half. Don't want to make the family recipe. It's just me right now. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I have all of the ingredients here, and this is the what do you call it, the meat substitute, and we're gonna just go ahead and put this in a pan. I'm gonna put in some oil and just start that to cooking. And then once that heats up, and in the meantime, we are going to take our butter. For our butter, we're going to use butter, and we're also going to use a garlic paste for the asparagus. So we're going to just kind of boil those to get started, and just go ahead and put the butter right in here. There's that, and then we're going to turn that on. And as soon as that boils down, we're going to go ahead and add our asparagus to the pot, and then we're going to add the meat substitute, This is actually, I can't remember the name of it. What is the name of it? The Impossible Burger. So I'm gonna use the Impossible Burger to start with. And again, you can use any meat that you want to. You don't have to use any meat at all. So, but this is what I'm going to use. I have my bell pepper. Here's a bell pepper. And here's the onion. I used red onion. You can actually use whatever kind of onion you want to use. And I'll start that with just kind of pouring it in right there. And that'll start to, there's your onion and your peppers. So I have red, yellow, and green peppers right there. Sometimes I will add, I'll also add some jalapenos. I just didn't have any jalapenos today, but sometimes I will add jalapenos to the mixture as well. And we'll put that in there just like that. And we'll go ahead and season that also. And we have a little bit of salt. Here's the salt here. We'll just take some salt and put it in there like that. All right. And you can also season to taste. You'll all, again, everything that you put in there is what you would normally put into your pasta sauce, whatever that is. I will actually just be using I'll be using a jar of pasta sauce. So it doesn't have to be, from scratch or anything like that, although you can, if you wanted to do that, you can, but this is what I'm going to use here today. It is a basil tomato sauce. You can use anything that have 4 cheese and different pasta sauces, but whatever pasta sauce you normally use or the one that you make yourself. Either way, it all will taste great once you put everything together, okay? Also going to turn on the oven. Going to preheat that to 350 degrees. So by the time we mix everything up, that is going to be ready to just toss into the oven. And after it comes out, so after we take the lasagna out of the oven, what we will then do is just toss the garlic bread in the oven. It'll be in there for about 5 or 6 minutes, but we still have to let the lasagna cool, probably 15 or 20 minutes. I would say a half hour. Let it cool, because if not, once you cut it, it's just going to slide all over the place. Still be tasty, but it's just going to slide all over the place. So you don't want that. And a little bit of a spin on. There was years ago, I actually saw somebody, I can't remember who it was, so they put collard greens in the lasagna. It was a layer of collard greens in the lasagna, so you layer everything. And so I actually made some collard greens, and nothing special. I just collard greens, cut them up, put them in some water, seasoned them. I also added habanero peppers, and didn't cut them up, but just put the habanero pepper in there. So it's a little bit spicy, not real spicy, because if you don't cut the habanero up, you'll be just fine. So just make sure that if you're going to do the greens, they are totally up to you. It just adds a little bit of a little different texture, a little bit of a little different flavor as well. So I like them in there, but again, we're just going to layer them in there, and you can choose to put them in there or not. They're optional. Also adds a green color to it as well, so I like that about it. So let's stir this again. All right, and we're just gonna stir this just until it's a little bit translucent, and then the butter is ready to go. We're gonna add a little bit of the garlic paste, and here's the garlic paste that we're going to add. That's the garlic paste there. We're going to add that to the mixture, the butter mixture for the asparagus, and just going to let that kind of incorporate. And we're going to, maybe once we put it in the oven, put the the lasagna in the oven, what we're going to do then is maybe add the asparagus, because we don't want them, once they cook and they're in that pan, you have to take them right out so that they won't continue to cook. Or, you know, we want to be able to plate them about the same time as it comes out of the oven. So I'm just kind of prepping it right now. So, and just going to add this garlic paste to it. And you can add as much as you want. I'll also add the garlic paste to the garlic bread. I have your everything sourdough. I like the way the sourdough kind of toast up. So I'll put it in the oven and I'll spread some of the garlic paste on top, and that'll be our garlic bread. So it is it's an everything sourdough. So it's really, really good. You can see that up close, and it has all of the everything seasoning on there as well. So that's going to be really good as we get to that point. And let's go ahead and stir this again. All right. And now we are going to add our, this is your, you can use ground beef or whatever it is that you use. I am just using Impossible Burger, kind of making it, making it vegetarian without the meat in there. So I make it any, you know, various different ways I make it. So just however you want to do it. We're going to add this now. And we will mix this up. And this is, you know, this is one of those recipes that you probably typically have everything in here in the house at all times, with the exception of the ricotta cheese squares. But typically you'll have everything that you need in the house already. So this is just, we'll turn it down a bit. All right. And then we'll let that brown up. Then we will add our sauce to the mixture. And then we will stir the paste into the butter. And remember, we're going to just cook this really slow. And actually we can add it now. Just don't, just make sure you keep it at a low temperature. So we are going to add the asparagus here on my asparagus. Really nice asparagus. It's hard to find them this big and pretty. So we want to make sure we don't overcook those, because they are very tasty if you cook them to the right tenderness. So I'm going to add those to the butter and garlic sauce. There's that. And we're just going to put these in here, and then we're going to just let the heat go way down, and we want to watch them and make sure they just don't overcook. And this is the same casserole dish we're going to use to layer our lasagna in. And there we go. We just put a plate over that, right? And let's stir that again. And now that's cooked up. So typically you can let your sauce, you can let that cook as long as you normally do. Again, this is a quick meal. So, and remember, it will also cook in the oven once we get it to going, and the oven has preheated to the 350 degrees, okay? And also now we are going to add some fresh garlic to the mix right there, okay? And I like to add that garlic kind of on the end so that it won't burn, but I like plenty of garlic. And just mix that right in. And that's gonna give it a very good garlic taste to it. If you don't like garlic, you can omit the garlic. All right, and also we're gonna add you can add just oregano, or I like the Italian mix, and this is also going to give it a little kick with, this is red pepper flakes. Again, this is optional as well, and also this is optional. Some people don't like Italian seasoning or oregano in their sauce, so you can add either. They're both optional, but I'm going to add, this is about a tablespoon, and just going to use this and season this to taste. And what that will do is it will just give it a little bit of spice. Let's add that. All right, and then we're going to add probably maybe half a teaspoon of pepper flakes to give it a little bit of spice. Probably going to need a little more salt as well, especially when we add the tomato sauce. All right, and again, all of this is seasoned to taste, so just going to open the jar and just pour it in. And again, I'm just doing half of the recipe, so just going to do about half of this. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to add a little bit of water to that as well. Let's just stir it up. All right, it's looking really good. Just going to incorporate all of our flavors. And once we do that, then it'll be time to layer. So again, very, very quick recipe. Doesn't take a whole lot of time to do. Yeah, about 25 or 30 minutes in order to get it, once we put it in the oven, everything will incorporate, all the cheese will melt. So, and once we let it sit for 30 or 40 minutes and then cut into it, man, it's one of the best. It's really, really good. So I'm sure you guys will make this. Again, whenever you have a taste for lasagna, this is the quickest way that I've ever found to do it. Some people don't put ricotta cheese, and I kind of like the texture of ricotta cheese, so that's why I add the squares. Let me show you the squares. So this is just the squares right here. And what I do, actually these are frozen, so when we put them in there, they're going to be frozen. You don't have to cook them, because on the instruction is cook them first. So it's about 3 to 5 minutes, but those will actually cook in the oven. So no worries with that. Just make sure, you put them in there. They'll be frozen, but they are going to cook. You got to trust me on this one. I promise you, it's going to cook down. It's going to be, it's not going to be al dente. It's going to be cooked through, but it's not going to be mushy. It's going to cook. It's going to be really nice though. So we'll layer that as well, and we will also have the greens. We'll layer those as well. So let's stir this again. All right, and this is going to be ready to go. I'm just going to taste it to make sure that the flavor is what I need it to be. All right, let's taste that a bit. Okay. Don't need to add anything to that. Typically, I don't over salt things, but I'm very light with the salt initially, because once you over salt something, it ruins the whole dish. So just got to be careful with that, and just make sure that we continue, that you don't use too much salt. And it doesn't, with everything, salt is already in most everything that we cook with. So just be very careful there. Yeah, that's cooking really well. All right. Going to let that cook a little longer, and then we're going to add to our bread, we're going to add just a little bit of paste to each slice. All right. Just a little bit to each slice, and then we're going to put this in the oven. We can probably put it in the oven right around the same time as our lasagna. It'll toast up, so it won't interfere with that. So we're gonna just take a spoon, and we're gonna spread that out. Just wanna make sure that those asparagus don't overcook. And we're just gonna spread it out here. See right there. Going to spread that out. Let's put it here. Gonna just spread it out just like that. And so take a look at that. Yep, very good. And I'm just gonna put that in the oven. Actually, we can put that in the oven right now. Yep. So we'll put that in the oven and we'll let that cook up for probably about 8 minutes or so. And as we are layering the lasagna, the garlic bread is cooking. So when the garlic bread is done, the lasagna will go in, and then once the lasagna is done, everything will be ready. And we'll also continue to check on our asparagus to make sure that they don't overcook, and we'll also add some salt to our asparagus. So, but yeah, right now they're cooking up. They're really nice, and because these are so thick, they're going to take a little bit longer, but you still don't want them to overcook. All right, and so we are cooking our sauce up, and also want to make sure that everything is ready to go. And yep, so make sure we're checking our asparagus. I do not want these to overcook. And we're gonna turn that down really low, okay? So that they will cook up perfectly. And let's go ahead, now we can actually go ahead and plate our lasagna, all right? And we'll put the lasagna here. Here are our, let's see, all right. So what we want to do is first, let's just put a little bit of lasagna sauce on the bottom, all right? And now we are going to layer just like that. So it's typically about 24 of these squares. And there you go. So that is half of them. So now what we want to do is we're going to add our cheese to the lasagna, okay? So let's do that. Let's add a little cheese. All right, there we go. There we go. Then we're gonna add some sauce right there. There's that. Okay. And there we go. Yikes. Okay. Let's do that. So really simple. Now we're gonna take some of our greens and just layer the greens right there. And then again, these are collard greens. Cooked however you normally cook your collard greens. And there's that. And now you wanna add the other squares. So very quick, very easy. And let's do that. Very tasty and very quick. Right. Okay. And that, now we can add the sauce. And you can add as much of the greens as you want, and you can add them at any point that you want. So this is going to cook up really well. You can actually add another row, I believe. So you can do 2 rows. I'm going to do 3 rows today. I believe I am. Let's see. We're gonna do 2 or 3 rolls. Let's go ahead and we'll stick with the 2 rolls. So we're gonna do 2 rolls. You can do a 3rd roll if you want to, but we're gonna just go ahead and stick with the 2 rolls today. And then we will add the cheese, and again you can add, so I'm gonna add a little more greens to the mixture, just a little bit, not a whole lot. Yep, just really adding some color and some texture to it. There we go. Then we're gonna add the cheese like that. It's gonna be really good. Once it's gonna get really cheesy and gooey, and oh man, very good. So very quick, as I said. So we're gonna put this in the oven for about 30 minutes. And there is your lasagna. There we go. And I am going to sprinkle with a little bit of red pepper flake on top. There you go. Just a little bit. And that's totally optional. That's just what I'm going to do. All right. And that's gonna be everything. So this is how it looks before we go into the oven. Okay, all right. Very good. And again, about 25-30 minutes. Gonna put it in, and we're gonna, there we go. And now we're gonna check on the garlic bread. So let's see. Yep, let the garlic bread continue to stay. Put that back in right there. All right. Okay, guys. 25-30 minutes in the oven, and once that's done, then we'll come back and we'll plate up and eat up. So, all right, see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everyone, and I am ready to plate everything up. It has been about 30 minutes or so, so we are going to go ahead. Let me show you the finished product first. And so here we have the lasagna. Yeah, you guys can't tell me that looked like something somebody's mama made. I don't know whose mama, but that looked like somebody mama made that. You know, not because I made it, but it looked good. It looked good. So we're gonna cut that up in a little bit. And also we have your garlic bread right there, and also the asparagus. So we're gonna plate all of that up, and we're gonna eat up shortly. So I'm also going to just go ahead and make a quick cucumber and tomato salad. I think that's gonna be pretty good to add to everything. So just gonna cut that up real quick, and just a little bit of cucumber. So just cut them as thin as you want. I like them fairly large in size. That's a good little salad, you know, along with the asparagus as well, but they pair really well together. So just gonna make this really quickly, and going to just season with some salt and pepper and a little bit of lemon. And there's that. And then we got some cherry tomatoes, gonna dice in there. There's that. All right. Very good. And there we go. All right. And just a couple more. And then we're gonna put some parsley in. Just gonna cut some parsley up. Nothing major, just a little bit of parsley. There's that. And just put that right in there like that. Gonna mix that up. There's the parsley. Now we're gonna add a little bit of salt. Let's go ahead and add some salt to the parsley and tomato cucumber salad. There's that. All right. And there's that, just a little bit of salt. And we're gonna use a lime instead. So let me go ahead and cut the lime. And just gonna squirt a little bit of lime on there. Just a little bit of citrus taste. Really goes a long ways. All right. And we're gonna just go ahead and mix that a little bit. Okay, there's that. Okay, very good. All right, let's go ahead and cut everything. We'll cut the lasagna and we're gonna put it in a plate. So right here, let's just cut it. Typically I'll cut it maybe into 4s, or we'll cut it 3 that way, or 2 that way, and then 1, 2 that way. That looks good already. Yep, that looks excellent. All right, gonna dig right in. Let's take a spatula. Okay, let's do it just like this. Let's make sure we get all of it out. And there we go. Left a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. All right, perfect. So there we have it. And gonna add a piece of the garlic bread. And there we go. Let's put it right there. All right, and so here we are, guys. Finished product. Gonna be really tasty. We'll sit down and let me see if I can taste this really quickly right now. So, but it's been really really quick. You know, it seems like it's been taking a long time, but this is a really quick meal. So let's taste it and see what we got. All right, and let's taste the asparagus first. Asparagus is really nice. It's not too soft. It's really crunchy. It has the garlicky, buttery taste to it. Really, really good. And let's go ahead and, of course, the lasagna. Never really miss with this one. It's such a simple meal, but when I tell you, it's tasty every single time. Really tasty. Just a nice little kick at the very end. The pasta is cooked perfectly, actually, and really, really nice taste. Not over seasoned, not too much of salty taste to it. Usually that's one of my issues anyway, is a little over salting when you do sauces like this, but this one is perfect. Garlic bread. Garlic bread. Oh, absolutely perfect. Yeah. Very good on the garlic bread, and then gonna taste that. It was just pretty good. Just basic cucumber, tomato and parsley, and then just that lime and the salt and just the taste together. Very good. Yep, everything was tasty. And just remember, until next time, if you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. Thanks, guys. Bye.
If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. If you can read, you